All right, Charlie, why don't you tell people what we're doing tonight? I see a brown bag on the bar.
Last time we did a blind, it was Pappy Van Winkle 15 year, and Glenn didn't guess it because he's dumb. Tonight we're doing another blind. I picked it. I know what it is. Glenn doesn't, and we get to watch him squirm.
Let's do it.
Start squirming.
All right, Charlie, so you're feeling yourself after...
No, I'm not feeling myself.
After the last blind we did, I brought Whistle Pig.
Yes.
And you brought Pappy Van Winkle 15, so...
It's true. I find it hard to believe that every blind we have, you just don't say, oh, that's Pappy 15.
Well, maybe I will from here on out.
Maybe it is. This bottle, I will tell you, I got this from our friend John from John O's.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. O.
I was getting ready to leave, and he said, hey, here's this bottle you should do. It's really good. And I was like, how much is it? And he told me, and I'm like, all right. So he assured me that it's good. And if there's anybody that I trust...
Mr. O.
It's John O.
Okay.
So,
do we know what the O stands for, by the way?
John O. Mind Your Business. John O's in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. It's an excellent liquor store there too. And
check them out.
Yeah, it's
you will not regret it.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
I'll let you do your thing.
This is really dark. So
it is really dark.
I'm encouraged. I mean, I guess that could be deceptive. It could be, man, that...
It's freaking ridiculous.
It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, it's pretty viscous. It just kind of clings to the glass and stays there.
Gorgeous.
All right.
Gorgeous.
Let's get to the nose.
After you, sir.
The people are waiting.
The people.
Okay. Is that a rye? I feel like that's a rye. Feels like a dusty old rye.
Boy, it sure smells like a dusty old rye. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to say anything because I know what it is, but... Okay, we're going dusty old rye on the nose?
Yeah.
You want to describe maybe some nosing?
Nope, just dusty
old rye. I mean, I'll jump into it. I mean,
it may not be. I think it's a rye. I'm calling it.
I tell you, you get a lot of spice on the nose, and there is a
lot of spice. There's a funky note, a dusty note,
a deep.
There's a little tinge of that barbecue beef bouillon note.
Yeah.
Just kind of hanging out in the background there. There's some oak on this thing.
There is some age on this thing.
Yeah. There's baking spice.
Yeah. Delicious,
a little bit,
flavorful.
Just a little hint of like a pine tree note. Not the bad kind, but just kind of like hanging out in the background.
I don't necessarily get that. All right,
just a little bit.
Let's get to drinking.
All right.
Cheers to blinds.
Cheers. This is interesting.
I would say.
Because I was for sure, after nosing this, that this was going to be a very high proof bourbon or whiskey. And now, having tasted it, I don't know that that's the case. And if it is, then that's pretty unbelievable because it doesn't drink like a very high proof bourbon or whiskey. I'm going to say whiskey because now on the palate, though, I'm second guessing my call that it's a rye.
Why? I get so much tingle.
There's tingle.
It was, I know what it is. So first of all, thank you, John. It's very good. There is I don't want to go into tasting notes because I don't want to give away what this is. It is really good. It is dark and...
It's not billet, is it?
Is that your guess?
Purple top? Is it a purple top willet?
Give them some, give them some tasting notes before we unveil.
Hang on.
Because you said
Let me go
some
back
things.
I've said all kinds of stupid things.
Oh, man.
It's got a really deep, dark, like a... Ooh. There's like a... That was all like chocolate and caramel there.
Like a no-bake cookie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a no-bake cookie.
Little... That's so weird because...
I'm telling you, man.
The palate kind of betrays the nose a little bit.
and
It's
and then it doesn't, and then it does
and
again.
then it does again. It's deep, it's dark, it's not super like fruity like a lot of ryes. Like a lot of ryes, you get a nice like an apple note on it. I'm not getting any of that.
But spice.
I'm getting
Lot
the
of
baking spice.
And when I
Getting
say
the
a lot
dark, like caramel and like chocolate and I don't know, like all kinds of goodness.
do you want to take a guess at it?
I already guessed. I'm saying it's
Willet
Purple Top. I have no idea. I don't know if I've had a Willet Purple Top.
Stay tuned for episode 2 where we do the big reveal. Comment it. No, ready? You want to see what it is?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, big reveal.
What the heck is that?
This is, hold on, let the people see it. This is Preservation Distillery,
Oh,
the Estate
wow.
pot distilled.
Interesting. Very
Here's the specs. Ready? So Preservation Distillery, you probably know them as Old St. Nick and Pure Antique and all the other sourced bourbons that are very rare.
I'm such an idiot.
Ready? 6 to 7 years old, right? So let's just call it 6.5. This is pot distilled.
Do we have to release this episode?
This is their distillate. It is a wheated bourbon. Again, we got them again, people. There is no rye in the mash bill. This is what's kind of sold me on this. So MSRP on this bottle about $130. This is 119.2 proof.
Okay.
Which you were like,
So,
it doesn't drink like
it doesn't.
And it does not. This is lot number 8. Here is the mash bill. It is, if I can find it, wheat, local artisan corn, harvest wheat, and dark toast malted barley.
I'll tell you
There
what.
is no rye in the mash bill.
So were you just screwing with me when you were agreeing with me on the nose?
That it smells like a rye? It smells like a rye. It drinks like a rye. How do you get
Now
spice?
you kind of talked me out of saying it doesn't taste like a rye,
Well,
but that was my.
where does spice and bourbon come from?
Well, it can come from rye. It can come from the barrel as well. But yeah, that's a shocker because that nose is like it's a straight up rye.
It's a man. It's a phenomenal, deep, dark,
Yeah.
and I just keep getting that oatmeal kind of note, like an oatmeal, like that
now that you
nice
say that,
grainy.
like-
oh man.
That's good.
The
That's
big
good.
thing on this one, 1 to 3 barrel batches. By definition, it's really hard to get smaller batches than that.
Well, does that mean there could be a single barrel that they don't call a single barrel?
They do these in single barrels in very limited amounts.
Okay.
The cool thing about this is from Kentucky Artisan Distillery, or Preservation Distillery, I'm sorry, not Kentucky Artisan, Preservation Distillery, this is their very first release of their distillate. All of their other stuff has been sourced from very prestigious, very old, and very expensive. This is their first foray into their distillate. And I think this is very
That's if that's your first release.
Look, yeah. And this was released in 2024. It is an ongoing release. This is lot 8. And I was like, man, that's a lot of lots from December 2024 to now. But then when you think about it, it's like a 1 to 3 barrel release.
Yeah.
I was a little hesitant on this one when John was like, trust me. And I was like, okay, I
digging
will.
the bottle.
It's beautiful, and we'll do some more detailed. I love transparency. This is Preservation Estate pot distilled.
And honestly, for a pot distilled,
Yeah, and it's
a lot
pot
of times
distilled.
you can get some kind of gamey notes on that.
Yeah,
But
100%. There is a
not like
difference
that
in the
at
pot
all.
distilled. I mean, color.
now the nose, now that I know it's a pot distilled bourbon, the nose, you can kind of tell in the nose.
Starting to make sense a little bit.
Yeah.
I really
I'll
like
tell
this
you,
bottle.
that-
130
you
bucks.
got me there, man.
I
was like, oh, it's a rye.
I picked this up and I thought this will be a good content because we haven't done anything from Preservation because we're what the kids like to call poors, and we can't afford this 17-year.
There's so many people out there right now saying, oh, yeah, you're poor. Every other bottle you do is $100.
I was just going with it, but you didn't have to bring up reality. But no, a lot of their releases are very high end. Old St. Nick, and they've got some new ones out too, but it's all been sourced. This is good stuff, and it's extremely. I did a little bit of research. I know, shocker. It's extremely high rated. A lot of everybody that's had this says the same thing we have said, and
Would you have
said.
guessed that as a weeded bourbon?
One of the fun things is going back in the last year, 2 years, or since we started the channel, is I've been a very strong advocate that I do not like weeded bourbons and weeded whiskeys.
I think we've kind of put that to bed.
Yeah, I really do. I think
you
it's a
can say
case
that
by case
anymore.
basis because I mean, we've had a bunch, whether it's from, I say, you know what? I almost said craft distilleries. This is by definition a craft distillery.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love things that drink out of character.
I love that nose.
This is a really beautiful bottle. Not only in presentation and the wax and everything else. And I know you're going to comment $130 and blah blah blah. I just don't care. It's very good.
It's something
delicious.
I don't feel like I've ever tasted something quite like that before. Especially something that on the nose portrays I'm a rye,
Yep.
and then on the palate it's totally different.
Totally different. And I love the fact that and we talk about this in a lot of craft distilleries, that you can kind of taste that grain, but in a good way.
Yeah.
This, to me, on the front end, I get all of that grain and oatmeal, and then it transitions and you start to get that spice, which where the heck is that coming from? Nobody knows. And then you're left, it drinks a lot older than its age.
This drinks kind of like a really good breakfast stout.
Boy, that's really well said.
It
That's
really does.
really
It's kind of
well
got the
said.
same
Yes.
type of feel to it.
Yeah.
Like a dark and
Yeah.
deep. And,
But we have drank a lot of 6 and 7 year old bourbon, and we like it. It's really hard to find one that drinks way older than that. I mean,
it
there's
does.
some barrel
And the
character.
color, like I would have guessed it was much older. Maybe not much older,
I-
but at least 3 years older, like at least a 10
Yeah.
to 12-year-old.
And 100 and is it 100?
114.2.
114.2. I'm sorry, I said 119. 114.2 micro single batch pot distill.
We've reached a new level here where I'm correcting you.
That's true. On vision.
Maybe you need to get glasses.
I won't talk about my prescription. So too much moonshine. You want to hear the tasting notes?
Yeah, let's hear the tasting notes, Charlie.
Unique.
You don't think mine were?
No.
You don't think mine were sufficient?
I always like this because you want to, the first word is unique,
It is very unique.
comma, viscous, 1 to 3 barrel batches,
very
exuding caramelized wheat, toffee, deep toasted oak, and honey butter. Honey butter.
You know what? I can go with you on the honey butter.
I can also go. I like this one, and Jono didn't disappoint. I was
No, he didn't.
perfectly prepared to kind of trash Jono.
This is why you want to get John O's store picks,
Yeah.
because evidently the guy's got a great palate.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, we're going to convince John O to let us
Drink all this bourbon.
sit in on a pick.
Maybe sooner than you think. Like and subscribe here on Instagram. No, YouTube for more hard-hitting Preservation Distillery. Also, Preservation Distillery, if you're watching and want to send us some Old St. Nick or something to try, we'll try that too. I'm fine with that.
I'm just going to watch you drown.
Everybody does.
Yes, check us out on socials. Sowing the Bourbon on Instagram and Facebook, and Whiskey Realtor on TikTok. And as always, keep those wallets loose.
And your bungholes tight. Good night, everybody. Good night, John. Thanks for the recommendation.
All right, I'll get out of here. You pour. I'm going to drink water and annoy people. I'm going to leave my microphone on.
As Glenn leaves the room, Charlie prepares the blind. He's gone.
I wonder what Charlie's doing in there. Is he thinking about me? I fell into a burning ring of fire.
All right, we're ready. Hurry. We're missing battery.
Down, and the flames getting higher. And it burns.
I think John would like that.
That ring of fire. That ring of fire.
Is your mic on? Check.
Yep. It's Pappy Van Winkle 23. I got it, didn't I?
Who talked? 3, 2, 1, action.